Great. Really good. Okay, let's go. Right. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay. I'm not going to jump around too much because I've got people below me, so I'll be a little bit quiet here. But if it's a bit cold where you are, just take it as dynamic as you like. Okay. Right. Going. Let's see. Right. No squeaky floor. Where is it? There. Okay. Right. Here we go a little bit front and back. Great, side to side. Right, rotating. Right, into open and closing. Okay, great. Okay, reaching up, take a nice deep breath in. Lengthen all the way up through the front of the body. And lengthening all the way down. Follow it with the breath out. And the spine down. And up. All the way up. Roll up to the top. And just follow your own breath, your own rhythm. You do it. Okay, just the last one. As you reach the ground, the bottom of the movement, just allows you to release down into the ground. Let the spine really release. And just play with gentle movements of the spine, and like the directions we use in the first movements. You've got like an up and down, front and back. You do it spine, side to side, rotating, and feeling like open and closing from the pelvis. Just play with you releasing out the spine, shoulders, special tension in the neck and the head. Let the head hang. Release them out a little bit. And really gradually just start to pull the body up to standing. So you're just going to start by just pulling the hands up off the ground. Feel even that little bit of weight change in the legs. And pull yourself up kind of millimeter by millimeter with movement. So don't let anything become tense in the upper body especially. Just draw yourself up slowly. Use the breath as well. Just slowly pull the body up. Real slow. Real slow. Just start to pull yourself up. Now hold that. Great. Nice and long in the spine. Okay. We'll just do just one first for the shoulders. So just reach out. Imagine you're just kind of touching the corners. So fix the feet into the ground and just spread the hands out, just reaching them into the corners as far as you can. And just feel the weight in the arm is basically down. And just notice whether you're kind of holding the shoulder up, holding the arm up, or just letting it kind of settle down. Imagine like as if there's a kind of pillar either side of the arm that I'm just kind of resting into. And really obviously kind of resting into the shoulder, the back, the legs. Just reach out. Take a couple of deep breaths. Feel it really expanding, reaching out, touching the corners of the room. Take a nice deep breath in and out as you do it. Hold it a little bit more. Notice if there's tension in the neck, try and pull it long. Hold a little bit more. Nice and gradually just drop the arms towards the side of the body. So again, like millimeter by millimeter. And just notice any tension in the body as you come down. Notice if one shoulder is more tense than the other. You might have a bit of an ache in one. You might have an injury in one shoulder. Just notice it. Okay, use the breath. Just slowly settling the arms down. Let the elbows release and the wrists release. Try and feel that the elbows, the joint systems are free. And settle them down nice and slowly. All the way down. Feel their arms heavy, hands heavy. Good. And just start to roll them out once you've got to that position, but don't rush down. Roll them out a little bit. And then forwards. And then alternating, shoulders out. Flexing the hips as well. Like rolling through the whole core of the body. And just start to let the arms take into a figure of 8 pattern, slightly going behind the back. Think about one hand going basically in line with the spine at the back, and then pulling it in line with the spine at the front. So basically center to center, or center line, front and back. And in between, really letting it follow the hip work basically. And just allow yourself to move with it. You can do this slowly, do it flexibly, fast, a little bit faster. The key is that coordination again, so letting the hands really follow that hip work and really working with the center line of the body. Try. Yeah, nice, great. And again, just notice whether, especially in the arm, whether the joints are being kind of held, and just see if you can kind of release them a little bit more each time. And going slow is also going to kind of reveal a little bit or a lot more whether I'm kind of holding the joint system or not. Is that great? All right. Great. I'm just going to get to the hips. Nice big circles. And change direction. Just keep the feet kind of shoulder hip width. Just bending them. Nice, and sit into it a little bit deeper each time. Keep the spine long. And notice kind of tension in the neck. Try and keep it spine nice and free. As you do it. And then bringing the heel off as you come down to go a little bit deeper. Ideally, you bring in the back of the thigh to the calf. Sit into it. Use the hands if you need to support. And just flex them out a little bit. Just work the hip. And let the whole spine as well kind of move with it, shoulders and hips. Move in. Great. And then just find the hands into a kind of prayer position, the center of the body, and then just a little bit of pressure out, a little bit of pressure in, and just sit into it a little bit. And release the arms again. Put them in the ground if you want. If you don't need them, don't use them, but use them if you want. Just roll them out, hips a little bit. Again, let the shoulders roll as well with it. And the neck's also involved, the head's going as well. Great. And again, just coming back to that prayer position, front of the body. Press out a little bit with the elbows. Press in the legs. A couple of nice deep breaths in as you do it. Great. And just release the hands. Press the palms into the ground. Extend out through the back of the legs. Keep the hands down. And just lengthen. Just work with the hip, basically releasing the hip, treading the feet, but in a nice kind of short position. Now relax the head if you can, towards the arms and towards the ground. And just raising the heel in and out of the ground. You can play with alternating the heel, or you can also do both, just lifting both heels out. Play with both, but again, the key, look for the hip to kind of find the motion basically as you do it. And so then the hip's pulling the heel out of the ground. Yeah, that's fine, great. Good. All right. Great, just draw yourself up to the shin bone with the hands. Let the back come long, knees are still flexed a little bit. Then just pull yourself up to the knee and then just rolling them out. Nice clear circles. Try and work the ankle as much as you can, keeping the feet in the ground. You can let the whole body kind of move with it, so the elbows, the shoulders, the neck, everything's kind of rolling with it as well. Great, and then switching direction. And keeping the feet as much in the ground as you can. Great. Very nice. Great. And then just coming up, just roll out the ankles a little bit. Change in direction. just rolling off the ground a little bit, just the ankle. And change direction. You roll out the knee, from the knee, the ankle loose. Change direction. Take it to the hip. And change direction. Shake it out a little bit. Go to the other leg. Let the weight really settle into that leg now. The other way. And off the floor. Circling the ankle. And change. Circling the knee. Right, change direction. Okay, and release the hip. And change direction. Shake it out a little bit. Come out wide. Let the feet come out, and we'll just come down all the way to the ankle. Pull yourself back up, keeping the spine long again. Let the head kind of look out, a little bit directed down, but keeping the back long, keeping the neck long with it. Just trace a line from the hip to the ankle, all the way down the leg. Nice couple of deep breaths as you do it as well. Right, and we'll do one that kind of involves the arms as well now. So that's same kind of movement, that drop down, but start with the arms up. So we'll do this in a kind of set. You're going to kind of breathe in. You can kind of pull yourself up onto the toes if you like with this one, but really kind of draw yourself up, and then you're going to let the weight all drop down, and then inject the arms into the ground. If you pull up, take a nice deep breath in, widen the rib cage, everything kind of big, and then inject down into it. You can think two. I think one image in this case is like you've got like a pit of sand or water, and you're kind of driving the hands into it. You can do this with fists. You can do this like an open hand, or you can do it with a like a spread hand here. So just play with what feels kind of right. Tend to kind of clench the fist at the top, but you can do either kind of position. But the key is kind of opening out, and then this kind of dropping of the weight boom, into the ground, and then drawing up, and then pulling up. Yeah. So just focus at the first view, just focus on the drive down, the kind of injecting of the hand down. That's a nice, like a double fist strike down, or just a kind of dropping of the weight, injecting the arms into it. That's it. Yeah, great. That's it. All right. Good. Good. Okay, exactly the same exercise, but focus now on the draw up. As you inject down, focus on the draw up. So you've really got a sense at the feet and you're driving up with the body. I imagine like in a sense like pulling a plant out or pulling like a tree out of the ground, or really uprooting something. So the feeling that you need to really be weighted in the ground and drive everything up, and then the release and the drive everything up. So it's the same exercise, just with a different emphasis on the raising up. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, great. Very nice. Okay. Good. We'll just do the last one. We'll do it with the foot forward. So this is the traditional when you do like a rowing exercise with it. There's tons of ways to teach this, and I've had lots of people tell me different stories with it and different kind of ideas with it. They're all kind of interesting, but we'll just focus on one thing, which is really the same exercise that we've just done. You're just doing it now out. But the problem with this exercise, it tends to go into pushing and pulling. So I do dong, 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 but just focus in this case on the ground in the legs. The pressure out coming from the ground. So kind of splitting the ground here apart, and then as I bring the arms back, I'm kind of pulling the earth back together, and then pressing it away, pulling the earth back and pressing it away. So it's actually it's a grounding exercise, and obviously you've got projection with the hands. But yeah, just play with the hands a little bit. You can do this with like a. What I find best with this is like a kind of light fist or a light kind of clenched fist, but you can play with also the hands being open, pulling back with a fist. You can play with the hands being clenched here. It's not really about the hands in a sense, though. The hands will change the exercise a little bit. So the origin of the setting really is a boat rowing exercise. It comes from that world, actually, from it was actually used as a physical boat rowing exercise. And you've got basically one oar, basically you're using it all this way. Oars kind of in that way. And there's lots of nice mythological stories about rowing to nirvana and all this kind of stuff. Not very useful for training, so sticking to a practical thing like rowing is probably enough for us. Go with that, just do a few that side. And then we'll go to the left side. So traditionally when this is done, there's like a breath pattern in between. You would generally do this one in between, the breath in between. So there's a big kind of set in this exercise. But I'll just isolate that as an exercise. So that kind of pressure out, pressure back, pressure out, pressure back. And really feel the feet are really active in this exercise. So they're not empty, they're really pressing and pulling the ground. Just play with it, basically looking at power generation from the core. That's nice. Yeah, good. And you can do it slowly, you can do it quite vigorously, you can do it really at your own pace with it. It's really about coordination at the end of the day. So good, great. Good. And we'll finish with the kind of breath exercise. So generally that would be done as a repetition, and then you do the breath, this breath in between with this, and then you do the other side, then you do this again. But we'll finish just with that one. So this, you take a nice kind of deep breath in to bring the hands up at the top, and then you're just kind of bringing them down. Let them really drain down, and you're really finding the ground with the feet, and you're shaking out. Now you're creating that shape through the body with the arms basically, but you want to feel that the whole body's starting to shift. You'll probably feel what I feel with this exercise, it takes a while to get into in a sense. This is a useful exercise to do for like 10-15 minutes, just kind of work it. So what I feel usually with this, like my arms are starting it, and then it's really about connecting, try and feel whether this is actually, whether there is actually any movement here, or I'm just bracing it and it's kind of dead, right? So play with this like really simple exercise, but just play with like bracing the core. So I kind of hold the structure of the body and then let the arms go. And then I won't really feel anything through the whole body. And then feel that you can actually just release the core, or release the lower body and the core. And as I do that, try and feel that there's something actually really happens that way. So you're trying to allow that kind of vibrational feeling, impulse, and let it go through the body. Just explore it a little bit. It's just that feeling of the focus in the hand, a little bit of a squeeze, gentle squeeze through the palms, and the arms need to be relaxed. Just notice what happens. Like also, I can brace the arm and the elbow and do it, or I can kind of release that structure, and I'll get a bigger kind of kick through the body. Just play it, and again, you can do it fast. You can do it kind of slow. That impulse is going to be a bit kind of sharp in a sense. And if you'll kind of lose, that would generally this exercise be done in one breath. So it's a kind of in, out, and this is the kind of out breath. And as I release all the breath, I pause, and then I regain the breath by coming up. Drop it and kind of let it out. So you can play with that as an idea, or you can just keep the breath going as you've found the hand. So again, there's a few ways you can play with this exercise that are all kind of useful. And there's obviously a kind of traditional, ritualistic way, which is also kind of useful to do, to know. And then the last week, just play with a little bit of a sharper impulse, a little bit more kind of with the hand, and a little bit more like less of a shaking and more of just a kind of boom, impulse and let it settle, 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 impulse and let it settle. Now just notice what's happening in the ground as the body, just feel the body, feel where that kind of percussive movement is going. And notice also whether you get a kind of feedback through the body. So I can let that weight enter the ground, boom, and just notice if there's something you might feel kind of coming back as a kind of reply. And kind of sending the impulse to the ground, and just notice whether there's a kind of response from the ground also. Like knocking on the ground, does it answer? Boom. So the kind of echo of the movement, hopefully you might feel. I really need to have the joint system kind of free to feel it. So, great. Good. Nice. Okay, great. We'll go to Joe. So just take your Joe. Nice. A little bit of slippery work. So a lot of those, I mean, they're really great. There's also warm-ups and things, but they're also like preparatory exercises as well in the case of training organization in the body and a feeling in the body. So that actually very useful as exercises rather than just as warm-ups as them. So we'll play with that kind of feeling as well in this case. So just start with the feet down. We'll go to that really basic exercise, just that rotation through it. But try and find that same kind of feeling you got in that when you had the hands together. There's an impulse in the hand as I rotate the jaw back. So just notice that kind of impulse. A little bit like you've got a drum at either side and the stick's kind of beating it and beating it there, beating it here and beating there. So I imagine, essentially you could imagine like two drums either side and I'm kind of beating it. But the key's not really there, or the focus isn't really here. It's in what's happening in the rest of the body, the center, the connection to the ground. And this is a kind of afterthought in a sense. Just notice that kind of impulse. And again, do I feel the impulse just in the hand, in the forearm, in the elbow, in the shoulder, or do I actually feel it? Can I get that feeling in the whole body? That impulsive kick, boom, back, boom, boom. So basically kind of control the jaw with the whole body. That's essentially what you're looking for. And again, play with it slow, play with it fast. Okay. Once you've got the feeling, so that what I would start with, this is like the basic by being the impulse here, because it's a little bit easier to find the control here in terms of the structure and bam. bam, bam. It's a little bit like when we start the block, and we started that position because it's easier to find the connection here. Once you've got that connection, just play with a little bit more bigger movement. What you'll find is that's going to start to really challenge your ability with the structure in the arm to maintain that control. This, and then this one, especially as you go out, it's really, really hard to keep the elbow not from going into that position. So just notice it and just feel where the limits of your flexibility are and where the limits of the structure are to apply that impulse through the body. So just think about, you've got that depth, a little bit deeper, and might be able to go a little bit deeper, Just kind of play with it a little bit, just at one side. And again, really try and feel it as a whole body exercise, even though we're not using the feet, technically not moving the feet. Feel that the feet are really included in the movement. Good. And then just a few on the other side, same exercise. And again, that same kind of impulse. Boom, boom, boom. And once you feel you've got it, just take it a little bit more flexible as well if you want. Notice if this wrist is a little bit tighter than the other, maybe. And just work with it. And just feel the feet as you do it. Really try and get out of the idea that it's a kind of arm exercise or it's a twirling exercise. And it's just a whole body movement. Okay, I'm really looking to connect the center to the movement. So the more I can do that, the more of the body I can recruit in a simple movement, the more I'll hopefully be able to recruit the whole body in more complex movements. So. And then just play with that same exercise. So not go into the figure of 8 yet, but just play with the feet also. So as you do it, feel like you're moving, 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 moving. And feel free to just play with the hands. So do a few on each side. And it doesn't have to be complex. That's actually better that it's not. But just think about kind of moving the feet, planting the weight. Boom, 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 boom. And again, once you feel you can kind of get it here, on that kind of mid-level, just allow yourself to kind of freely go into it. You might find the body starts to want to really naturally go into the figure of 8. Just try and restrain it for now, but just keep it as simple as possible. Again, focusing on now as you go a little bit more complex, keeping that original intention or the original feeling of the exercise, the weight centered through the whole structure. Let it feed through the whole system. Oh, great. Just move around, change the hands. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, working different foot positions as well. Step through with it, step back with it, really explore possibilities with it. Perfect. Great. And then just keep one side with this. Allow the other hand just to be there as a kind of support. So it's not going to go into kind of position. It's not going to go into grip positions, but just allow it to be kind of there, just as a kind of support hand. So you've got that movement, same movement kind of happening, and then just allow that hand to kind of make contact and roll with it. Maybe sometimes it's not there, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's in that position. But just keep in the center. Just play with a little bit that, using the hand as a bit of a support, playing with different positions again, different arm configurations with the feet. Again, you're looking really for like center control stuff. And again, every so often just change the hand, change the grip, and allow it to explore the other hand. So you've got like a kind of controlling hand in a sense, and a kind of what you call like a kind of feeling hand in a sense, or a guiding hand, just there as a support. No idea. So just look for this exercise, right? Look for like an impulse with the whole body. So and what I'm feeling is like that it's so there's an actual impulse into the ground. So my feeling is that when I'm doing this, it's not the hand, it's the ground. So the ground's doing it, ground's doing it, ground's doing it. Ground's doing it, 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 ground's doing it. Then move the feet. Ground's doing it, and the ground's still doing it. Right? Ground's doing it, ground's doing it. Ground does it, ground does it.
Just one hand?
Yeah, I'll play with switching, but just one hand. And then bring in this one to support. It's not going to do anything, it's just going to follow, and just play with it in different positions. Yeah. Yeah, so play with it. Yeah, great. So that's it. Perfect. Good. All right. Good. Okay, now work with the ski. So you're basically going to come into 𝘰𝘂𝗡𝗧𝗧 as you do that. And again, you can really use this as a progression. So use that, that, and then I'm into the 𝘰𝘂𝗡𝗧𝗧, and then if you feel like it, go to the ski, and then I like to release out. But really play with this as well. I mean, it's really like a drill in a sense, a progressive drill. And kind of don't get that feeling, get the ground, get the hand kind of working with it. Feel that that's going, and then as it can come up, boom, I'm in the ground, and then boom, release it. And then you can also stay in that ski position, do a few skis, come back into the movement, but you're trying to kind of, in a sense, like generate this movement from the center, build it up, build the feeling up, and then in the ski, and then boom, release it, use it. And if you feel it's still kind of that, do a few skis, and then come out to it. Yeah, great. Bernie, great. Thank you very much. Very good. What time are we at? Okay. I'm going to use it every sort of come into come on and bam, kind of channel it into the ski. What?
I'm still trying to get into the rhythm.
That's good. Nice. That's nice. Okay, great. Now just stick with the ski. So just hold the ski, hold that kind of ski pattern. Allow yourself to get a bit of freedom to kind of move around with it, but keep yourself in that kind of pattern. Really feel that again, the ground's really underneath it, connecting into the weapon, and then you can either kind of hold that position, find another position, find another ski, or just find a kind of angle with it. Really connecting to the body, the ground, the feet, and bam, use it. Use it. Bam. Bam. And then allow yourself to just switch every so often with it. Just playing with the ski. Nice, simple, but really looking at that feeling of the ground. Really driving the motion. And we'll just emphasize a little bit, just play with putting a little bit of power into it. So a little bit more of a focus at the end of it. And just notice that there's a lot of things that can happen as I start to increase the power. I start to, because I get tension in the body. And as I go to the idea of adding power, I start to kind of strangle the weapon a little bit. So I get into this kind of stuff. So put the power up a little bit, allow the power to come up, the kind of intensity comes up, but keep that same kind of focus, like I'm really still relaxing into the ground, but allows it to really allows a little bit more kind of bam, bit more of a kind of vigorous thrust, and with a really kind of a clear focus snap at the end of it. Okay. Yeah, good. So in a way, I always find that people find this a little bit harder than if you think about the focus we have in the bokken, in the saburi when we do the strike, and that the hands kind of working together. People tend to find this a little bit more tricky to find in terms of focus work. So what tends to happen is the front hand gets locked on the weapon, or it doesn't really contribute to the movement. So what I can't find in that case, the right hand, in this case, the front hand's not doing anything. Nothing really happens at the end of the jab. So it's really a kind of collaboration between both hands. So they're really snapping together. Now I'm just trying to make that obvious, but really have the sense that both hands are really snapping onto the weapon. So especially focus on the front hand, because that tends to be a little bit weak with the jo work. And you're basically equalizing the focus down the weapon. Both hands. How's it go? Yeah.
It's like the bokken.
It's exactly the same. It's the same thing I do here. Bam. If only one does it, I don't get anything back. And I try it, and then I try to do this. And actually, I try and shake the end of it, but it's not actually about shaking the end of it. Nice.
Just launch it and just
Throw it, right.
catch it. Just get the,
Yeah, you can also do that. Right.
so then I can,
You know the right hand's feel like it's gonna
yeah,
catch it. Right.
but that feeling of actually,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, okay, good.
I'm actually getting the feeling.
Yeah.
Rather than going, what we're doing here.
Yeah, so we'll look at a few things. We'll look at a very simple one with this, just a strike, like just a punch. So with any kind of strike, with any release, any I've just said any kind of power output, it's gonna need to be a release, right? It can't be a kind of holding of the structure. So this is especially true with weapon work. That it can't be like I'm going into a holding pattern. The thrust itself is a kind of a release of the energy out. But I don't lose the center as I do it. I don't lose the ground as I do it. So, but the feeling is that something's actually going out, right? I'm transmitting out as I do it. So just play with this idea, and then we'll return back to it. But just play with the arm here. Okay, make this as active as you like. I find this easy with a uraken, but you can do with any kind of strike work with it. You can even work this with a push, but it's the same. It will be the same in this room as well. it's the same thing. What I'm not looking to do if I'm applying power is I'm not looking to actually hit her like that, right? That what I'm looking to do is transmit out to her. Yeah. So it's a release of energy, right? But I don't lose the ground when I do it. So when I push, I don't do this, right? And that I can release and lose the weight, but I've lost the balance and my next move is compromised. So look for when you do this, it's like this, right? So there's a release out, there's a unpacking of it, boom, of that energy, right? So just play with it. Easy, the push is an easy one, but in a sense also kind of hard because I'm used to pushing, and the tendency is to like push like this kind of stuff, this kind of stuff. So really allow yourself, give yourself freedom to really just like boom, 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 and I really like just boom, release it out, boom, release it out. And the first thing with like, again, it's the thing we do always with the weapons, power generation has to come from the ground, right? In order for it to be a whole body movement, right? So the first important thing is the ground. So the arm goes out, what's happening in the ground as I do it? Or where's the body in relationship to the ground? Is it there? Is it there? Is it pulling back? Or is it just there in the ground, right? So this is also useful to do with a wall. You've got something kind of feedback. But and that's in essence what we're doing with the weapon. It's giving us a feedback on our ability to ground, ability to apply power at the end of the day. How's it going? Hit my arm. Yes, you're hitting me.
Yeah.
But like, watch. How do you do that? What I want to do is the effects go like through the body, like not hit the arm. So don't think about hitting my arm, but you're not. I mean, you're not hitting my arm, bro. You are. You're. That's better. Yeah. That's better. There we go. Yeah. Now you do. And then there's a whole problem with like. I apply power and I break the hand. Like power, break the hand. This is important. Yeah. Great. So yeah, then also like I mean, it's also the same with the jaw. Like I need a certain kind of position, and there's a certain kind of detail which I need when I apply power to it. If I'm in the wrong kind of positions and I do apply power, like the wrist in this king position, and I go through it with that clang, you're going to kind of risk really breaking the wrist. So when you do this, we'll go to the Uriken because it's a really actually a very easy one to find that structure, but I don't want the wrist to be like floppy, light, loose. So it's got a kind of heaviness in that release, but allow the arm to be really like boom, release, boom, release, boom, release, and allow yourself to just kind of boom, release it out, boom, release it out, and also feel every so often just go back to the jaw as well. So you can mix in the jaw work, mix in the jaw work, mix in the jaw work, mix in the hand work. Really, it's really the same movement in essence. Again, power application out. In this case, it's a horizontal application out. Ski work is all the same, so it should feel the same also. Just a couple of the details. Great. And then we'll just really drill it so that it's also an exercise you can work with. You're going to do one ski and then one uriken. So it's also a nice kind of exercise to work with. Just do one side, but you can change sides every so often. I do a ski, I come back, and then I do an uriken. Then I come back, I do a ski, I come back, and do a uriken. And then I come back. Ski, pull back, uriken, pull back. Yeah, and just you're working just basic coordination. I'm really trying to really hammer this feeling for this organization into the body. So one ski, one uriken. That's it. Here. In action. So it's a boom, 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 It's the same. Yeah, okay, nice. Bam, great. Yes, great. Yeah, good, nice. Boom, boom. And then the next exercise, just give yourself a bit of freedom to also change hands, but keep the same orders. You can do one ski, one uraken, one ski, one uraken, but allow yourself freedom to kind of change places or change direction and change the arm as well. So it might look something like this. Oh. 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 This. Yeah, so just kind of be free to mix in the arms, mix in the feet. Sometimes do left, sometimes do right, sometimes do left, left, sometimes do right, right. Sometimes rotate to the back and do the uraken. Just really play with different ideas. But again, the feeling's essentially always the same. And the mechanics are the same all the time. Nice. Good. Great. Nice. Very nice. Good, Catherine. Good. Good. Go. Great. Good. Excellent. Okay, great. Just for the Jodo, just the last couple of minutes. We'll do this same working with the uraken, but just pulling back a little bit into coordination work. So just start with the feet down, shoulder width. With this, it's a kind of classic exercise. I do this quite a lot personally as well. So the position is this: you find the hand out, release it, and the hand makes a loose fist just at the side of the body, side of the head, and then you're just practicing releasing, and bringing it back. Yeah. So you can do this again. We'll work with this both sides because it's a good coordination exercise. You're here, release, comes back, and then you're going to change sides. Release, comes back, and then you change sides. Release, it snaps back, and then you change sides. Release, snaps back, change sides. So the first few, get the coordination. And do it slow enough so that it's not frantic at all. So there's no kind of rush with it. And yeah. This is really difficult. Okay, right. And so this happens, right? Go really slow. So I really to control my body as well. So I go like reach out, hand rolls across, and then release it. Okay, find it back, and then this hand is going to release out. This hand rolls over, and then I release it, rolls back, and then I reach out, roll hand over, release it, rolls back, reach out, hand rolls across, release it, snaps back, reaches out, gunk, snaps out, gunk, snaps out, gunk, snaps out, gunk, snaps out, gunk. Snaps out, gunk. And you can't think this actually. You really need to just feel it. There we go, Catherine. Nice. Yes, there we go. Bah, bah, bah. In a way, you've got to go like a bit robotic at first with this. This is why, I mean, especially Shotokan karate, all this kind of stuff, they'll go in a little bit robotic way to teach it. And later you see them when the application of it's totally natural, totally free. But in essence, there's a kind of there's an order to the movements. So spend a long time doing them slowly, coordinated, with a hope that they later can be done fast together. Nice. Good. Great. And then really last these 30 seconds, really do this slow. So I mean, I love going fast with these. So really allows her to really pull back and just bam. But try and really now coordinate the whole body together. So all that, both the hands really work together. And take it, even this is a bit too fast. So the last few, really allow yourself to go slow, but keep the same, the weight doesn't change, the intention doesn't change. But just as if I'm doing it full speed, full power, just slow down. The weight's still in it. The kind of intention of the strike's still there. Nice. Last few seconds. Yeah, great. Very nice. Yeah. What the A, B, C, D, then do boom, mixed up. See IKEA instructions. Yeah, great. Great. Okay, we'll stop there. We'll work a little bit on a Temi this week because it's a kind of really interesting subject as well. So, and also trying to link it to weapon work rather than see it as a separate system. And that's basically what we're doing all the time anyway. So, but we'll look at it a little bit more this week. Okay. Very good. Great. Domo arigato.
Domo, arigato. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. There we go.